Anyway, so talking about Jimmy Dore. Okay. So we got it. All right. So Jimmy Dore, was on his show. Jimmy Dore does a show, and he's talking about the truckers again because he loves talking about these truckers. Really, why I wanted to talk about this clip here is because Richard Wolff, whom I would have considered myself a fan of Richard Wolff at one point in time. I've read a lot of his stuff. I met Richard Wolff. I said hello to him. We took a picture together. It's somewhere on the internet. But so I like Richard, but he's going a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs a little bit. And so he's going on Jimmy Dore's show to talk about how like the truckers they're actually like the most pro freedom. So apparently these are truckers, which again, I'm going to be honest here. The idea that we're calling these freedom convoy people truckers is a little bit laughable. They're not really truckers. Like they have a truck. That doesn't make them a trucker. Like they bought with a billionaire money, they bought trucks. Does that make you a trucker if you just buy a truck and then park it somewhere? Does that make you a trucker? Because it might. I don't know. But, okay. So, this is very good. So, Jimmy Dore is going to be talking about how unions actually made up of truckers, by the way. They're actually against workers. A union, right? The collection of workers against the workers that are not in the union, that are also not workers. They're actually billionaires and billionaire employees, not workers. But anyway, so this is a really bizarre clip. Let's watch.
So here, the Teamsters Union denounces the ongoing Freedom Convoy protest at the Canadian border that continues to hurt workers and negatively impact our economy. So what do you make of that when the Teamsters turn against workers who are actually doing the first time in my lifetime that workers en masse are making a big dent into the...
So again, this guy is not too bright. The idea that the truck convoy, the Freedom Convoy, are, quote, workers, that's been debunked. They're not workers. But also, okay, let's say someone is a worker. And they hold let's say, okay, I'm a worker. I have a job. So let's say I work at Bojangles. And I decide to go to Domino's with an AK-47 and hold everyone hostage. And then I, release a list of demands that say, I want, those smiley French fries, the little potato slices with the smiley faces in them. Let's say I want like 8 of those, delivered to me. Well, I'm a worker, right? Like I'm a worker. So therefore my demands are in the best interest of workers because I'm a worker. And even though I am hurting other people, even though that I am destroying the economy, let's say no one can buy Domino's pizza because I'm holding all the workers hostage there, right? But I'm a worker, and so therefore, because I'm a worker, fuck the rest of the workers because I'm a worker, right? So yeah, truckers both in the United States and Canada not getting paid because they can't do their job. Fuck them because I'm a worker and I'm having a temper tantrum. Which is basically what this Freedom Convoy is. Now, again, imagine I bill myself as the worker from Bojangles, and then you find out that I don't actually work at Bojangles. Like, I'm wearing the Bojangles uniform. It was actually paid for. I bought it with money that I got from billionaires. So I don't even actually work at Bojangles. I just bought the uniform. And then I call myself a worker. I'm not actually a worker. But I called myself a worker. And so, therefore, me calling myself a worker means that my demands are more important than actual workers. That's essentially the argument Jimmy Dore is putting forward. And Richard Wolff is going to go along with it, which to me is bizarre. Anyway, let's...
Oligarchy. And then a union like the Teamsters seems to take the knees right from underneath. What do you say to that?
Well, I think the way to understand it is The unions in this country have been in decline for the last 50 years. It's a straight line down. Every year they have fewer members than the year before. It's long overdue for the unions to ask themselves the honest question, how much of that decline that we keep blaming on the bosses is really because we're not doing what we could have and should have done, what we once did back in the 30s when, for example, the Teamsters were organized and did shut things down and did close things inside the unions of
You notice, so Richard Wolff's internet connection was not that great here. But you notice, like, Jimmy Dore starts, like, moving his face up and down, like, as soon as the internet glitches out. Just notice that real quick. It's funny.
Example, the Teamsters were organized and did shut things down and did close things.
He starts shaking. Why is he, he just starts shaking. Why does he do that? I don't know. But anyway, so the argument here is that, okay, is union leadership perfect? No. But let's be honest here, unions have been in decline because mostly of policy, right? Like, that has been passed by the government. They've been oppressed. Unions have been harassed to shit for the last, 90 years, right? And also, again, shutting things down, I agree with shutting things down when you have a list of demands, right? So, workers shutting things down in the 30s because they want to abolish child labor laws, or install child labor laws and get a minimum wage law, get worker protections, safety protections, right? That's good. That has, the Freedom Convoy is not doing that. The Freedom Convoy is not, let's raise the minimum wage in Canada and the United States. We got both countries. Supply chains are locked down until we get a $20 minimum wage in both countries. If they were doing that, I would support them. They're not. What is this fantasy world that Richard Wolff is apparently living in? That Jimmy Dore is apparently living in? Where these workers, they're working. They're workers. Does anyone think about these words that they use? Oh yeah, I'm a worker. We're workers. Just because someone is a fucking worker doesn't mean that you need to listen to what they have to say, especially if what they have to say is, oh yeah, so there's a pandemic going on and I want it to kill more people. That's what the workers' demands are. But anyway, let's continue.
Inside the unions of America and Canada, including inside the Teamsters, about what you're pointing to. And there's a big fight about it. Whoever's in the leadership now, yeah, they make statements like that. But make no mistake, they haven't been able to deliver to their members for so long that
Deliver what? What are we delivering? Again, if we want to talk about how unions can be improved, I agree. Unions can be improved. Leadership of unions can be improved. Agreed. However, what does that have to do with this Freedom Convoy bullshit? What are the demands? Again, if the Freedom Convoy was like, we want a $30 minimum wage for everyone, not just in Canada, but in the U.S. We want to, we need reparations for indigenous people, for black people, for their mistreatment by these governments. If they were doing all that kind of stuff, I'd be like, hell yeah, brother, let's go. I'm in. I'm going to get my trucker cap. I'm going to learn how to fucking drive a truck, and I'm going to goddamn. But they're not doing that. What are the demands that these workers are... They're trying to help workers. Workers! Don't you understand? Workers. Again, people, when they hear the word worker, it's they start, they get, oh, I'm horny. Oh, someone said the W word, worker. Oh, God. Workers. Think of the workers! Ah! They're workers, folks. I don't know what to tell you. They're workers. So you gotta support the workers.
Today, you're seeing the growing strength of the people who say, we've got to have a change, we've got to be more active. And I think those people are looking at the folks in the truck drivers in Canada, more or less the way you are, as a welcome change in going along and being agreeable and saying no. Again, I suspect they wish there were other issues than the ones they've chosen. But look, you can't always choose what the final straw that breaks the camel's back.
This is like so bizarre. It's like, yeah, we wish they would, be demanding things that help anybody, but they're not. But whatever. But they're workers. I mean, most of them are paid by American billionaires. Most of them actually don't work. Most of them are actually not truck drivers. But they're workers. And so the unions that represent a majority of workers, a super majority of workers, right? Fuck them. Fuck those workers. The workers that want, safety protections, higher wages. Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them in the face, motherfucker. Fuck those workers. The workers that want to prolong a pandemic and destroy the economy that mostly only hurts poor people, by the way. Is anyone going to mention the fact that inflation is hurting the poor? The people that can no longer afford certain things like food for their families? Fuck those workers. Fuck them. Fuck them. Because the Freedom Convoy has like 3 guys who drove a truck once, and one of them said that they were a worker. And so therefore, fuck everyone else. I'm Richard Wolff. Look how smart I am. Buy my book. And I did, I bought his book. But they're workers, folks. We gotta support the workers. These motherfuckers are dumb, man. I'm serious. What the fuck is going on? This is like the great downfall of Richard Wolff, man. The guy's going on Jimmy Dore's show. Is he gonna go on fucking Glenn Greenwald's show next? Soon he's gonna be talking to fucking Eric Trump. What is wrong with these people? Oh yeah, they're workers. Where do they work? I don't know. What's their job? I don't know. Are their demands helping workers at all? No, not really. But they're workers. What the fuck? Dumbass motherfuckers. Let me tell you, these guys are dumb. I don't very stupid. I don't know what to tell you.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
I'm just saying.